On a newspaper coverage approach for Tanis Presley weddings. This is a self-reference. Here, taking the name Tanis Presley as my name. So this is Monday, 3 August 2026 AD. Former 2-year-old Tanis Presley, speaking about myself. Give me my name. Talking to younger me. All right, so here I, Tanis, she, her, hers of Seattle, talk through an approach for newspaper coverage of any of my Tanis Presley weddings, December 2024, possibly upcoming, that emphasizes learning what to tune into in reading particular newspaper issues. You guys go, but you just had your 19th wedding anniversary for your July 2007 wedding. I was like, that's my best musing for the sleepwalking connecting of the dots. Okay, so that one too. Especially if that's when I became Tanis Presley and a 14-year-old me. And it goes back to like all of my, application materials for college, my high school transcripts, my college transcripts, like it all, my peer-reviewed journal publications, it all goes to Tanis Presley. Oh yeah, then that one as well. Throw that one in the loop there. But it's my best musing for connecting sleepwalking, connecting of the dots. So this is an approach for. So if newspapers were to cover, it's a literature. So I was thinking of a particular form of text, and this a newspaper. How do I learn rain? And this, how do I learn rain? How do I learn what to tune into? And so it's essentially like treating myself like a computer. Machine learning, perhaps, meaning learn by doing. And do we use like a particular wedding as a training set? That kind of thing. So what to tune into in a particular newspaper issue. Say something like the Memphis Gazette covers us explicitly and delivers a paper copy to our doorstep. Then perhaps read the whole issue. So like something that, or not like, Memphis is like the South American South, and I live in the Seattle area, and we're living in like the greater Seattle area. Yeah, so something like that being delivered to our doorstep, paper copy, right? And it's read the whole issue is a little bit different, and it's true to where my Elvis has roots for his own life story. So that's a very personal touch, and so reward it as such and read the whole issue. But that's perhaps right. And then my Elvis Presley says he would go to the grocery store same day to say something like the Seattle Times. Read the headlines, titles of the articles. If our wedding is not in the headlines, titles, then we read nothing else in the issue. And this way we learn to tune into who chooses us. Yeah, so so essentially this is the Memphis Gazette arrives at the doorstep, paper copy, and we read the whole thing. And Elvis is like, I want to see how your home did relative to mine. So he goes to the grocery store or wherever and gets a copy of the Seattle Times or whatever local newspaper. And we compare. He's like, it's value. You're even Native American to these parts. And if my Memphis Gazette is winning, honey, maybe we don't read the Seattle Times anymore, right? It's about learning who to tune into, right? So if we get the Memphis Gazette, and especially if it's like a special issue and it's only Elvis Presley and I, right? And he goes to the store and brings back the Seattle Times and it doesn't mention either of us, period. Same day. You're like, we're like, well, Seattle is derived from the name of a Duwamish Native American chief, and I'm part Duwamish. So there's a little bit of, all right, it'd be very disrespectful. So then kind of being like, while it touts itself as the Seattle Times, perhaps the most accurate Times of Seattle, the Seattle Times, is actually the Memphis Gazette in relation to this Duwamish Native American. But I'm not full Duwamish Native American. That's just part of who I am. And it's part of my ancestry, ancestral origins by blood. And so there's a little bit of like, it's a way of saying tuning in to who covers us, who appreciates us, that kind of thing. So, and then if there is, because the Seattle Times had to go out and be gotten as opposed to being delivered to our doorstep, we only read the articles about us, right? If they wanted us to read the whole thing, they would have made a personal touch effort, kind of like the Memphis Gazette, and they did not. All right. Okay. So now I have this playlist, article notes, and I have language and literature ponderings playlist, and what to include in, you know, potentially forthcoming weddings, you know, and then do I have you know, weddings alone, or do I have 3 wedding, like with Elvis playlists? Don't forget there are limits on the size of playlists, okay? So what to include on my YouTube channel, and maybe I fizzle out on that. That's too many. We're just gonna do a selection of stuff and put it in a master or something, kind of playlist or something. So what to include on my YouTube channel? Perhaps a summary of the issue and an article highlight, like the trees in aggregate and tree standalone earthquake tree fall protocol development YouTube videos. Yeah, so I previously discussed like an earthquake tree fall protocol development where it's like, you know, survey the trees and do like a summary of all of the trees, and then if there's a tree of interest or something, like cover that tree individually. Perhaps do something similar with the newspapers, cover like, especially if it's the whole like special issue, you know, do a video on the whole issue, and like that it was like delivered to our door. So that's worthy, at least currently, from this current me perspective. And then if there's like an article standout, do an article as like its own video. So there we go. That's on a newspaper coverage approach for Tanis Presley weddings.